What's going on, guys? Your boy King Red Diamonds, and I'm back for another video. And you obviously know what's going on. It's Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Now, this is the final demo before the actual game drops next week. Super excited for that game. I cannot wait for it to come out. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to bring this game to you because I am absolutely in love with this game. It is so amazing. And when the final game comes out, you better be prepared for some good content. But before I get into the video, man, I please ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for more Wolong content. Stay tuned for more content in general. And let's get into it. Now, this game, it does a pretty good job of helping explain as simple as possible all its basic mechanics. So I won't go too in depth on that. If you go into your menu and you scroll over here to tutorial, it'll let you know all the gameplay mechanics pretty much simplified and explained for you. So I won't have to go into that. You can just read through all this stuff and it'll let you know exactly what you need to do and what's going on and stuff. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain in-game tips for progression and how a pro would go about playing. Now, this is not a surefire way of playing, but instead a guide to help you along. Play how you want to play. Don't let anyone tell you different. Just use this as a reference. I'm always an advocate of playing how you want to play. There is no surefire way to play any game. There's no definite guide for you to play this game exactly this way and exactly like this. Play it how you want to play. Have fun playing it. This is just a reference to let you know basic game mechanics that you can use to implement in your gameplay. Okay. Now, this game can either be played as fast as possible or as slow as possible, meaning you can blitz through enemies or take your time and meticulously pick apart enemies as you go. Okay. Um, if you're good enough to play that way in terms of speeding through, by all means. But my preferred way of playing is to play patiently and to pretty much go through an area, taking my time, taking out enemies at range, because that's what they give you ranged weapons for. And then if I can't take them out of range, to try to sneak up behind them, get a quick assassination in, get out of there, okay? And if I have to face them on up front, then I will face them up front, but I will make sure that I minimize the amount of danger that I'm in so that I can easily get through the level and get through it as smoothly as possible, okay? So I'm going to show you those two different play styles, and then once I show you those, I'll come back and then I'll talk to you briefly about equipment and all that good stuff and stats and stuff. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the latter half. Now, if I mentioned before, you can just speed run through most of the game if you really are that good. Like, if you're good enough to do that, you can literally speed through everything. Like, I can run full speed all the way through and just blitz everybody without having to worry as such. So again, you can blitz through the entire game that way if you truly are that godly. But my way of playing, my preferred way of playing, is to take my time and to explore. Really, I would like to, blitz through, but sometimes I feel like the slow and easy approach is better because you can pick off enemies without having to worry about, fighting them too much. Boom, one's gone like that with my arrow, and I'm good to go. I didn't alert anybody around, took him out. Now, obviously, I would prefer to take him out with one shot, but it doesn't work out that way all the time. Now, as you can see, we have 3 enemies over there. Of course, I could run up on them and just attack, but we want to look for a way around first, and then if there's no other choice, then we will do a frontal attack. That's the way I prefer to play. That's the smart way to play, in my opinion. But, some people may prefer to play differently. I, on the other hand, I like to play a little bit more cautious. Now in this game, this is pretty much our save point. This is what the shrine would be in Neo 2. Okay, so whenever you find these, this is your save point. It'll pretty much reset your area, and then you can, go through all your, stats and all that stuff. Okay. Now, again, now that I've gone around, I could have did a frontal attack, but I've gone around this time, and now they are unsuspecting. Now I have, they're at my mercy. I can take them out as I please. I can use ranged attacks. I can use throwable attacks. I can jump down and do an aerial attack. I don't have to worry about all three of them coming at me at once because I alert them. Once I jump down and do an aerial attack, I eliminate one, and automatically now I'm left with just 2 enemies. That's how I feel as though a pro should play. It's smarter. It's a bit more, fun in my opinion, as well as it minimizes the amount of time. It minimizes the danger, basically. Okay, so if you don't know, each one of them has what is known as morale above their head. Obviously, the higher the number, the bigger the threat, the more morale they have. So an aspect in this game is if you take out one of the enemies that are like around, the morale of the other enemies will drop, making them easier to deal with. So obviously this one has the highest morale out of the 3, so I will obviously take him out first. So now taking that person out first obviously made everyone else easier to deal with. Now, if I'd have took out the other ones first, he probably would have been a little bit tougher to deal with. But, since I went for the stronger enemy first, it dropped the morale of everyone else, making it easier to take everyone else out. Now, again, this is how I would play, okay? You don't have to play this way. This is how I would play the game, all right? Now, as a little bonus, that area in front of me, what I need to do is I need to work my way around. Obviously, I could do a frontal attack, but as you can see, those guys look like they may be a little tougher than usual. That guy on the right there, if I zoom in, he looks a little bit more armored than this guy right here, which is the main people I've been fighting. So if I run up on him, he might be a little tougher to get to. What I need to do is I need to find a way to get behind them. That way I can, leave them open for surprise attack. That way drop the morale, making them easier to deal with, okay? So I will go around there, and then I will show you how I would attack that if I were to be the one playing. All right, so I've cleared out this area, honestly, for the sake of time. I'm just showing you how I would go about, attacking a stronger enemy that may, have the power advantage. So what we do is we traverse our area, try to find areas where we know we can climb to get a better vantage point. Now, I took out this guard here, and there was a guard over there that I killed with an arrow. Obviously, we're clearing out our vantage points. That way we don't get attacked by anyone who is at a higher position than us, okay? Now, we have our 2 enemies here. As you can see, this one has the morale of 8. This one has 9. He's a little bit more heavier armored than this one is. So what I want to do is I want to attack this one first to drop his morale, okay? So what we're going to do is an aerial attack, and then we'll go from there, all right? And that takes care of them. So, easy peasy. Pretty much take care of the bigger enemy first, and then take care of the smaller enemies. That's how you do it on this one. On this game, you want to be smart. Simply because, again, this game is a lot more aggressive than Neo is. Like with Neo, you can be a little reckless and still come out on top. With this game, if you're too reckless, it'll definitely bite you in the ass. So be sure to, take out your enemies in the area first, is which I would prefer, and then go after your bigger enemies. But that's the gist of how I would progress. I'm going to get into, equipment and all that stuff now. That way I can get you a basic rundown and get you guys up out of here, okay? So I'll see you in that part. All right. So now that I've shown you how I will progress through the game, we're going to get into a brief explanation about the equipment and all that and all the stats and stuff, okay? So as you know, there are 5 different virtues or stats in the game. That's wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Each of those have different buffs that they give you in order to help you along with the game. Now, none of them, I don't think they give you any like attack buffs per se. They just increase, resistances, and they increase maybe the elemental damage you do for that certain virtue. Okay, so now we're going to go over to our equipment, where the equipment scales with 3 up to 3 different virtues. Okay, so each weapon you choose is going to scale with up to 3 of those virtues. I have the dual swords and the regular sword equipped. So the regular sword is scales with wood, fire, and metal, and then the dual sword scale with wood, fire, and water. All right. So if I want to get the maximum amount out of these weapons, I have to pump points into those 3 different virtues. Okay, that'll make my weapon hit harder and do more damage. If I decide to put those points into those virtues. Same with your ranged weapons and same with your armor. But in terms of armor, it doesn't increase your damage, but rather your resistance to said virtue. Okay, as you can see right here, this increases my resistance to wood, fire, and metal. And then, and earth. And then this one increases just my fire. This one increases wood, fire, and earth as well. And this one as well increases wood, fire, and earth. So each of these pieces of gear is going to increase a different type. Not all of them are going to increase the same. Obviously, they're going to be different depending on the gear you wear. All right. Another thing you want to be wary of is where you see at the bottom equipment weight. As you can see, it's green, meaning that I'm in a good amount of weight for me to be able to be a little bit more mobile rather than it being yellow or red. You never, ever, ever want to drop your equipment weight down to the red. You do not want to do that. You will be slow and you will take less damage, but you'll be very, very slow. It'll be hard for you to dodge and get out of the way and move around. So you want to stay in either the green or the blue. Blue would be pretty much equivalent to A agility from Neo 2 last year, and green is equivalent to around B agility. I think B agility is very good because it gives you a good balance of mobility and defense. Okay, yellow is not bad, but you'll be a bit slower, and then red is a no-no. Okay, do not touch that red. All right. Next, we have our accessories, which pretty much just give you extra special effects that help your builds out. Now, min-maxing isn't a thing in the demo, so you don't have to worry about that. Just worry about equipping gear that helps you stay alive. Because again, you're not going to really do too much in the demo to be able to, completely min-max a build until the final game comes out. All right. Now, you can play the demo over and over and over and over again, of course. But again, you're not going to be able to get too much going for you until the final game comes out. So just, get as much equipment as you can. And try to match it to the virtues that you are pumping your points into. Okay. Now that I've gone over your equipment, we can start talking about your wizardry spells. Now, I will go to the shrine. Give me a second. All right. So now we're back at our shrine and we come to spells. Now, when you want to learn a wizardry spell, obviously you come to learn wizardry spells. You cannot use any wizardry spells in a certain virtue or phase that you have not put points into. Okay, so if you have not put any points into, say, your metal, water, earth, fire, wood phase, if you haven't put any points into those, you will not be able to use certain wizardry spells. You need a certain amount of points in those phases in order to use the spells in that category. Okay. Now, because I tried that before, like I think I had pumped most of my points that you can see into wood and fire, but I didn't have any points in metal or water. And I tried to equip some metal and water spells, but I couldn't do it because I didn't have any points. So make sure that you're putting points in the areas that you want to use your wizardry spells in, and that'll basically help you along with your battling. Now, in the previous section of the video, you probably saw that I used a fire spell. That is obviously from the fire phase. So they're very useful in battle. It just takes a moment to get used to using them, but they're not very tough to use. They make it pretty easy to just throw out your spells and then be able to continue your combat. So don't worry too much about that. But again, if you want to use a certain spell, make sure that you put points into that phase. That way you can actually use that spell. Obviously, the more points you pump into that phase, excuse me, the more points you pump into that phase, the more spells will open up for you later on down the road. Okay. Now, each spell costs a certain amount of spirit and morale to use. So make sure that when you want to use that certain spell, that you have the amount of spirit and morale that allows you to use it. Okay, because if you don't have it, for one, the spell will be blacked out. Okay, right now I have a good amount of spirit and morale, so I can use any of my spells. But if I use my spells, obviously now my morale, my spirit is up too high and it blacked out for a quick second. Once your spirit recovers, then you'll be able to use those again. Okay, so make sure that you're not spamming them too much to the point where you can't use them in battle. Use them sparingly and use them at the right time. All right. But that's pretty much it. That's just a basic rundown of the game. Obviously, when the final product comes out, I'll have a lot more information for you. I'll have a lot more in-depth breakdowns. You know how I do with my videos, man. I can go for 30 to an hour, so you know it's coming. But that's just to give you a basic rundown. I wanted to give you guys, just the first look and basically prepare you for when the final game comes out. So stay tuned for more of those. I appreciate you guys for coming by. Again, remember to like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy King Red Diamonds. Stay tuned for more Wo Long, and I'm out of here.